Please don't send this video to the FBI. Today's game is called Build an Atomic Bomb in Your Backyard. No, that's really the game's name. We'll have to gather all the resources to build the bomb, rely on real nuclear science to assemble it, and if our neighbor Jonathan gets a little too annoying, I'll detonate the bomb and end humanity. Alright, I'm in my backyard and about to commit a crime against humanity. You're on my channel. What did you expect? As this arrow shows, I guess I should check what's happening on my computer first. So, I obviously have several applications, except the only one I can actually use is ChatGPT. Any resemblance to a real website would be purely coincidental. We're big ChatGPT users. I think we have the €200 subscription just to look up things like hemorrhoid removal techniques. I also enjoy the game creator's humor. Best product to dissolve a 75-kilo chicken. Your stomach, I think. Well, aside from this information on the computer, there's not much else to go on. No, I think logically, we need to ask ChatGPT how to make our nuclear bomb. A totally normal question that we've all asked ChatGPT at least once. No man, I don't think I'm going to help you do that. Go build a treehouse or something, I don't know. Can I help you with something else? So, it's not me who's writing, okay? When I press the keys, it writes automatically. He wrote, for an educational well, no problem. Apparently he's thinking all that stuff. And he tells me he sent the recipe to the printer upstairs in my office. Okay, I turned around and apparently my neighbor is waving at me. Very nice bald spot, by the way. What are you doing, my friend? A big project? Is it a boat? A plane? A nuclear bomb? Ha ha ha, man, I'm just too funny today. No, I'm going to tell him. Ha 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 ha. Really funny, Jonathan. Good old Jonathan. He doesn't know he's going to get nuked today. Throw your trash here. Don't do it. Alright, it's been crossed out. If I have any trash, I'm sending it to Jonathan. Now I have to go inside my house. Nice house, right? You can tell I'm American. Why do I have a gigantic toothbrush? Maybe I have super big teeth. Who knows, huh? Well, this is my kitchen. But honestly, it looks like I've done pretty well in life, huh? So why would I bother building a nuclear bomb? That makes absolutely no sense. Oh look, there's even a lotion for gigantic teeth. I must really have a very big mouth. Well, apparently I can't go in there. There's also, haha, giant toothpaste. But honestly, the person who made this game is completely nuts, huh? Anyway, what we really want is to get the paper that's inside this printer. And apparently, I have a list of everything I'll need to do to build my nuclear bomb. Well, that's just for the first step, but that's already quite a lot. And apparently, in my house, I also have a giant room with 2 big buttons. Either I launch a nuclear bomb, or it makes me hot chocolate. So cool. Look, there's a little smiley when I click on the hot chocolate. Like, it makes me happy. It spawns hot chocolate somewhere. Well, I hope it's not inside the nuclear bomb, but I've got a lot of work to do. Before doing anything, it looks like we'll obviously have to assemble this little table that's in my garden. Okay, so I can pick up the table and put it here. Honestly, maybe that worries me more than the nuclear bomb, you know? Weird things are happening here, my friend. Okay, it's done. The table is ready. Next, the second step is going to be to get $1,000 on Slickstarter. Any resemblance to an existing site is purely coincidental, so I think I must have unlocked this button on my computer. I also unlocked the dancing Jesus button, but that's awesome. Click on the different colored buttons to earn $10. What happens if I click here? Did I really win $10? No? Okay, great. For the record, someone spent an afternoon developing this, but I bet it'll just get used for trolling. Anyway, we need to go to Slickstarter. For now, we have $0 and 0 people have participated in our atomic bomb project. Well, surprising. Seriously, are there any atomic bomb projects on Slickstarter? Okay, apparently there's this movie that takes place in the water, which will be online soon. I don't know why this comes up when I search for atomic bomb, but we've still got work to do. Well, work on the table we built, actually. If I click here, we start earning money. Then I click this button, and the more I click, the more money I get. Honestly, I don't get why anyone is still unemployed with this. Honestly, it's way too easy to make money. Yeah, $1,033 in 5 seconds flat. I don't think even Elon Musk makes that much. Apparently, now that it's done, we'll have to buy the things that will allow us to build our nuclear bomb. Buy the required items on the next page to be able to build the bomb. Okay, so this is the list of everything I'm going to need. So here, I have an online shop, and for example, I need to buy some wood. I also need to buy a hammer. I also need to buy nails and tarps. Now that I have everything, it'll cost me $819 total. I'm buying it. Well, I think I just got my delivery. Honestly, that was super fast, right? So I opened the door and look, the delivery guy just arrived and brought me my items. Why can't I see the delivery guy? What's wrong? Maybe I should go this way. No, it's blocked. My place is really disgusting, right? Who still has cathode ray TVs? Well, anyway, the bro is literally building a nuclear bomb. I think the cathode ray TV isn't the weirdest thing in his yard. But my stuff is right here, but the delivery guy really doesn't care at all, actually. He didn't even stop, he just threw everything into my yard. So apparently, I need to build the concrete base. For that, I'm not sure, but I think I'm going to need concrete. All right, let's get the concrete, and I don't know what I'm supposed to do with it. I can't build. Look, it's so funny. I can open the packages. Like, if I click here, poof, it explodes. And here, for example, what did I get? It's, nails. Okay, so look what happens. When I take the tarp, I can put it here. There you go. So I think I originally bought 2. No, that's more nails. Here it is. Look. No, that's not my tarp. Damn it, who took it? There it is. Alright, let's build our weapon of mass destruction here. Well, if I were him, honestly, I might do this a bit more out of sight. But hey, let's just let him do his thing. And worst case, Jonathan will call 911. It's not a big deal. Alright, I think we're going to have to pour the concrete slab right here. And to do that, we're obviously going to need our cement mixer. So I saw that the cement mixer was opened right here. It looks like it's in several pieces. Look, here's the base of the cement mixer. I can't pick up several items at once. I have to take everything. It's a nightmare. Hello. Hello, ma'am. That's probably my wife. Honey, just so you know, I'm building something in the yard. Does this affect me in any way? Well, listen, from a strategic point of view, I think the best answer here is not at all. Okay, very well. Anyway, don't touch my flowers. Okay, no problem, honey. Transparency in a relationship is very important. She has pops. She has pops. Great, that's awesome. She teleports. She's a Norman. I once asked ChatGPT if my wife is a foreign agent. I can't see its reply, but I hope it didn't say yes, because then building a nuclear bomb in the yard would be absurd. By the way, it's nighttime. I'm not sure I can sleep. I can't stand dark games. Oh, she's asleep. Great. See you tomorrow. Now that I have my cement mixer, I need 5 bags of cement and 1 unit of distilled water. All right, I'm going to make the 50-second round trip of the day, but it's good, you know. I'll definitely get my 10,000 steps in. The distilled water, the 5 bags of cement. Alright, then we mix. Okay, before I can pour the concrete, I need to build some wooden formwork. But wait, this is construction simulator. This can't be real. I'm here to study how neutrons interact with heavy atoms, not to build wooden formwork. That's impossible. Did Oppenheimer waste time on formwork? Now I have to do it everywhere. This is hell. And there we go, the formwork is done. From here, normally we should be able to mix the concrete. But no, we have to... No, wait, this can't be real. You can tell the guy who made the game talks like this. No, but actually, if you really want to build some wooden formwork, you have to use nails and actually use the nails, because otherwise it won't work, you know? The concrete will leak. No, but it's really important for the game to be realistic. Am I a kid? Yes. But at the same time, I paid 7 euros for the game, so I'm not criticizing it for free. Alright, let's go. Let's hammer the nails in one by one. Brap, brap, brap. Alright, here we go. No, this is a joke. Now I have to hammer the nails. I hope that building the nuclear bomb will be as precise as the part where you make the formwork. Right, then, there you go. I can finally pour the concrete. Perfect. Everything is ready to start the construction. I just need to take a picture of my construction to upload to Slickstarter. My phone's here, so I can do it now. Do I need to wait for it to be in focus? Well, whatever. It's fine. We finished the first step. And also, what's cool is that being able to upload this photo to Slickstarter shows people that we're serious, that we're going to see it through. If we ever need more money, it'll be useful. Right now, I'm scared seeing all these machines, but things are getting serious. First, we need to raise $8,000 on Slickstarter. It's fine. I'm good at fundraising. Wait, I have to press when it turns green. This is complicated. Okay, yes, money. That's a crazy reflex. Well, honestly, there's nothing amazing. Let's be real, right? Okay, suddenly, $9,000. Yeah, honestly, that was even easier than the first time. Okay, so apparently, this is the recipe for the Demon Core. If I'm not mistaken, the Demon Core is this thing here and serves as the heart of our atomic bomb. The Demon Core is the nickname given to a subcritical mass of plutonium measuring 8 to 8.5 similarus in diameter. It was intended to be used as a third bomb during World War II. But after Japan's surrender, it was used for criticality tests. You know, with Japan's surrender, there were definitely some guys who were disappointed they couldn't use the bomb. Statistically, it's absolutely certain in the US military. Well, I think in reality, I'm going to have to buy everything that's on this list. So since I can't look at the list and have the in-game Amazon open at the same time, I'll take a screenshot. And normally, everything is on Amazon on my computer. What's funny about the list is that I have to buy 6 smoke detectors. And if you've seen my video about radioactivity on my main channel, you know it's to get the americium that's inside, and that's also how the crazy American who wanted to build a nuclear reactor at home managed to do it, and ended up like that. Well, now, in theory, I have everything I need. It's going to cost me $867. Alright, I'm buying it. Instead of making 20,000 trips, I realize I can use a wheelbarrow for my packages. Now, 32 packages have arrived. It would be hell to move all these packages if I had to do it by hand. I'm just going to take this opportunity to go to sleep, and normally I can take the packages and put them inside the wheelbarrow. That's perfect. I feel like it's going to be a struggle, but that's okay. Yeah, I take the wheelbarrow and head out with it. Now that I have all my packages in my backyard, I can start opening them. This, for example, is an old lantern. So, if I'm not mistaken, I need to put this one in. The reason we have these old lanterns is because apparently in the mantles of incandescent lamps, there's thorium-232. Some incandescent lamps used for camping contained radioactive mantles because they had fibers made of thorium-232, a naturally radioactive metal. I think the reason I had to buy these lanterns was precisely to get that thorium and make our atomic bomb. As a little side note, I also have these glow-in-the-dark clocks. They're clocks that glow in the dark. And back then, what they did to make them glow in the dark was to put uranium on them, which explains why I bought them. I think what we're trying to do here is to get as much radioactive material as possible from what we can buy in stores. It's funny. We threw away our cement mixer. What a waste. I could have made a second pad for another nuclear bomb. Also, I'm not sure what this is. Small size bowl. I don't know why. Wasn't this in a box? Why not, I guess? There we go. Okay, so I also bought these kinds of big cones that you see here. That's normally what you need to put right there, if I'm not mistaken. I think so, yeah. So, they're molds. I'm still not really sure what they're for. I think it's going to be an intermediate crafting step for our bomb. We're missing that too. Perfect. So, everything that's on this table, we have it. Okay, apparently I need to buy satellite antennas. We use that to make the mold, which will then allow us to make the diamond Damon core. Apparently, you have to start by putting a bowl. Then you put the mold, the core of the mold, and you finish with the antenna. So, the question I'm asking myself is, what could this possibly be used for? But I think we'll have an answer soon. I'm going to make the second one. There we go, and now we have our mold. By the way, that's the second line we were able to cross off. Well, actually, I realized I was just missing 2 batteries. And by the way, my garden is a huge mess. I think the best way to clean up is obviously to throw everything over to the neighbor's place. Why isn't it working? I was told to throw everything to the neighbor, that's what but... There, it's good. He's saying hello to me. Did you know that in 1994, a Boy Scout actually built a nuclear reactor in his backyard? What happened next? I don't know. I couldn't watch the rest of the video. I'm at minute 27 of an unskippable ad. And now, an ad, but I heard a noise like a camera. I heard a camera sound. Was that you who did it? That's strange. I didn't hear anything. You, bro, I'm gonna send it to your backyard. Your nuclear bomb. Huh? Well, but he's messing with me. I'm pretty sure I heard something, like someone taking a picture. That's odd. How long did you sleep last night? I feel like he's messing with me, or maybe he'll report me to the FBI. Anyway, it's not a big deal since we have to start by breaking 5 lanterns. So, I take a lantern, I take a hammer, and I break the lantern with the hammer. Then look, I took a part from the lantern, and I put it inside my cooker. We really suffocated extremely hard, everything is super worn out, it's totally over the top. Well, as we saw in lanterns, normally there's thorium, I don't remember how much, 235, something like that. Apparently, it will be used for building our nuclear weapon. Well, honestly, I would have liked these strategies to actually work in real life. I'm not trying to build a nuclear reactor or bomb at home, but I still find the idea funny and interesting. But I think that since technically it's impossible to make a nuclear bomb in your backyard, otherwise someone would have already done it and killed us all. Well, I think there are going to be a few inaccuracies. So now, what you need to do is heat up the thing we put in earlier. There we go, we take it out and we get a powder that I think is thorium powder. Next, the second step is to take a layer of aluminum. From there, we're going to take 2 lithium batteries and put some powder on them. And then we make a little ball like this. You have to do this 4 times. 2 batteries, black powder, there you go. Now don't ask me what this is for. I'm not sure this would work in real life, but why not try? Next, I need to cook these aluminum balls with olive oil. Nothing makes sense at this point, right? I have to do this separately for the 4 aluminum balls. And normally we end up with this kind of white powder. It's not the white powder you're thinking of. Well, next, we need 10 solvents. I'm going to put this solvent inside this jar. Then, I have to take the clocks, break the clocks, and put the hands inside. Probably to dissolve the uranium that's in there. We're getting powder that I think is thorium, but I'm not sure. This is just a guess. I don't know if thorium is needed for a demon core. I really have no idea about demon cores. Now, I have to do the same with the smoke detectors. It's funny. That's what I mentioned earlier. Smoke detectors actually contain americium. Up. There we go. Everything should be good now. Next, we have to mix the solvent with the thorium powder. Like I was telling you, it really is thorium powder. We place it in the heater, add thorium powder, and turn it on. And after a few seconds, normally we should get this thing here, which I think is half of our demon core. Look, we still have enough left for the other half. Next, we'll glue the 2 pieces of the sphere together. There, what? No, did it explode or what the heck? You really messed up. What? Am I dead or are you? No, I don't know what just happened there. No, it looks like it's fine. What the fuck? I think it must be a glitch in the game or something. I don't know. But the good news is, the sphere we just built is definitely the demon core. Next, we're going to need something called borated plastic sheath. Chesse, I don't know how you say it. Apparently, it's a borated plastic sleeve. Its main use is to serve as shielding against radiation, and more specifically, to block and absorb neutrons. Okay, I think that's that's going to be the casing in which we'll put our demon core. Well, you know the drill. We're going back to shop on Amazon. Now that that's done, we're going to have to do several things. The first step will be to mix the boron powder with epoxy. Then we're going to heat up this mixture. That will give us, the stuff that will allow us to wrap the demon core. There you go, this kind of mush. And then we put the demon core into the mush. And look, it makes something that has the shape of the demon core. So we do this a second time to get the other half, if I'm not mistaken. There you go. I feel like I'm making a tutorial even though I don't even understand what I'm doing myself. And then we combine the two sides using glue. That's it. We have our sphere. Now we can start working on our aluminum. The first step is to start cooking the aluminum bars. We need 5 of them. Here we go. Turn it on, then put this in the bowl. Apparently, you need a lot of aluminum, so repeat this 5 times. Now we have a big bowl of melted aluminum, and now you have to drink it. No, that's completely wrong. Don't do that at home. Anyway, in any case, don't do anything I'm doing here at home, please. Next, we put the core right here, and we have to do it again. I'm starting to see a little bit what they're doing. So this is going to be half of our atomic bomb, and now we need to make the other half. So the question I'm asking myself is actually, I'm having trouble understanding how the nuclear bomb is supposed to work, because sure, in the center, there's the radioactive material at the center of the demon core, and then it's surrounded by some kind of plastic thing and an edge, and the edge absorbs the neutrons, so normally there shouldn't be any kind of bouncing effect, and it shouldn't cause the explosion. Nevertheless, here we're doing something with aluminum, and I suspect that aluminum is a material that makes neutrons bounce. And so, the more neutrons bounce around in all directions, the more it creates the reaction for the explosion. So how does this bomb actually work? Honestly, we're learning a lot of things from this video. I'm seriously asking myself how a nuclear bomb works. Okay, so here we have our aluminum. I'm putting the demon core back in there. And finally, you have to use glue to close the cube. And now we have this magnificent sphere. Next, you need to make 12 pentagonal and 20 hexagonal explosive plates. Okay, now I'm starting to understand a little bit how this works. Actually, what we want to do is put a lot of explosive things all around in every direction. And to trigger the nuclear bomb, what you need to do is set off all the explosives at the same time. This will compress the nuclear material at the center, reaching critical mass to trigger fusion. If I recall correctly, that's what I've seen in YouTube videos about making a nuclear bomb. Yes, as you might guess, I've already watched videos about this out of curiosity. So, if I understand, we need to make 12 explosive panels of one shape and 20 of another. But how do we do it? I don't know. There must be a tutorial here. This is going to be annoying. The topic of the video is really interesting, but the mechanic of having to buy things is absolutely no fun. But anyway, in any case, I've been playing for more than 2 hours now. I can't get a refund on Steam anymore. I like it because I just got big TNT barrels delivered. I think Jonathan's less cocky now and will stop taking pictures of me. But how am I going to move this? A few moments later, well, now that I've spent an hour moving everything, we can get down to business. So the first step is going to be putting the pot on the fire. Perfect. Next, in this pot, we're going to start by adding distilled water. Beautiful. Once that's done, we need to add TNT powder. The TNT powder is right here. We can put that in. Let's add it. Perfect is just like salt. And then they say you need to add the RDX mixture. I have no idea what the RDX mixture is. I'll start by adding the ammonium nitrate. There we go. There, that's good. The RDX mixture, what is it? Is it sugar? Maybe. Huh. What is it? Let's try adding some sugar. Huh? I don't see what else it could be. Maybe not. We also need to add some candle wax. There we go. We take a candle and put that in. I really feel like I'm making some kind of magic potion here. But as for the RDX mixture, I have no idea what it is. I searched on Google. Apparently it's some kind of stuff. Well, you'll read about it. Huh. It's a solid white crystalline explosive compound. Okay, my theory is that you can buy it on Amazon and I just hadn't seen it. Online store. Look, there's RDX here. Well, I'll buy 5 of them. I'm not sure if that's enough, but I've made a mess. I'll send everything to Jonathan. Before adding the RDX to the magic potion, I need to put it in the dryer. Maybe because it's wet. So that's my dryer. If I put this here and put that in there, there we go. Okay? And it's really a nightmare, you know? Because now I'll have to make more than 30 of them. Well, now that I've shaken it, can I put this inside? Does it work or not? There's no more space. How does this work? Well, maybe I just have to drop it in. I think this game doesn't really follow the laws of physics. In the end, I had to start over. I don't know. I think the game must have bugged. No, okay, I get it. So I shook the RDX, but I also have to freeze it inside the fridge. I hadn't thought of that. What a hassle. Well, that's why I had to start all over for nothing, actually. Making an atomic bomb is complicated. There should be an easier version. There we go. Now it works. Now that I've mixed everything, I have to wait a few seconds. And I can put this inside my mold. So now it's going to make an explosive panel in a few seconds. And that's perfect. Well, 1 out of 36, that's absolutely great. And since it's a nightmare to make, I'll spare you that. 1 eternity later. I don't think you realize how much time all this took me. That's it. We have all the pieces now. No, we're missing one. It was hidden. That's fine. Next, I'll take a photo for my slick starter. There we go. It's done. And we've just finished the second step. You did the hardest part? Weapons of mass destruction seem to really interest you, huh? Now, it's time to put the pieces together. Okay, this is the interesting part. We're going to try to understand how it works. Yeah, we're going to need $60,000. Damn, it's expensive to make a nuclear bomb, isn't it? Seriously, I think the first nuclear bomb that was built took up something like 1 or 2% of the US GDP, which is just huge. Compared to that, we're actually doing pretty well, huh? Alright, damn. Damn, this is really hard. Okay, we're good. We've got our $70,000. Now we need to buy the outer casing and gadget components. Gadget, if I'm not mistaken, is the name that was given to the first atomic bomb. I think actually we're really rebuilding the first bomb from the Manhattan Project here. Well, apparently we're going to need a ladder. I think the ladder will go here. Why did some keys appear? But what the fuck? Is there a reason or... Okay, we also need this machine. It's a machine used for welding. And so I don't think we can buy the ingredients to make the outside of the bomb directly on Amazon, but there's another button. It's for online auctions. And apparently in the online auctions, look, atomic bomb skeleton from a movie set by Christopher Nolan. A little reference, I think, to the movie Oppenheimer. But the small problem is that right now it costs $98,750. If I click buy, well, no, it doesn't work. Actually, I feel like there should normally be some kind of little thing that goes back and forth, but it seems a bit buggy to me, like, okay, it's fine. Okay, POF. Okay, actually, I have to aim for all the green points, and it makes the price go up each time. Or does it make it go down? Yeah, it makes it go down. Well, okay, I'll buy it. What's that noise? Oh, look at these beautiful boxes we just received. So, how do we open them? Okay, let's open them. Buying like a total psycho, man. Okay, I think the first thing we need to set up is the floor here. I think it must be these bars here. Yeah, perfect. Well, I just hope Jonathan doesn't snitch on us to the FBI. Okay, we're good. So, I think this is where the welding equipment comes in. I think I need to weld this. Yes, it would be a shame if the explosion failed due to a welding issue. Now I'm wondering about all our explosive panels. How are we actually going to set them off? I mean, technically, it's just fire. If I try to light my blowtorch on the explosive material, it won't work. That's too bad. I wanted to experiment. Next, we need to build our atomic bomb structure. Don't you know? We take the side pieces. But I'm asking myself, what is this thing? What is this thing here supposed to be? It looks like those nuclear bombs dropped from planes, with this underneath. But I'm not sure if that's what it is. Because then, why am I building two of them? Why am I building one here and one there? Anyway, this clearly looks like the bottom of a nuclear bomb. So I don't know what the two different things are for. I just know I need to weld. Actually, I think this thing we're building, we're going to put it inside, I think, right? I'm not sure. Anyway, what is certain is that now we're going to have to start putting in our hexagonal explosive pieces. Here we go. This should be funny since we have a pentagonal explosive surrounded by hexagonal ones. There you go. And I think we need another pentagonal one. That's exactly the kind of thing I hadn't thought of. Well, will this ever be useful to me in my life? I hope not, but that's also why we needed 12 pentagonal ones and 20 hexagonal ones. Okay, so here, I've started making half of the explosive sphere. So, just to remind you, all these things here are going to explode and compress the Damon Corp that's in the center, and that's what's going to cause the nuclear explosion. So, we just have to take this thing, which is potentially one of the most dangerous things you'll ever see in your life, and put it at the heart of the explosive thing. Honestly, there's something soothing about it, like a weekend activity. Now only 4 hexagonal ones remain, and we'll have the core of our, I was going to say reactor, but it's not one at all. And perfect. Well, next, we have to make the outside of the bomb. For that, we take some panels and put them on, I guess. There we go. Perfect. There's always a little physics problem in this game. Well, I don't really need to tell you, but I think trying to make a nuclear bomb like this in your backyard isn't that simple. Especially because all the radioactive components we've used here aren't nearly enriched enough. So, for it to really be usable in a military context or for problems with the neighbors, you have to put the uranium in centrifuges so it's enriched enough or things like that. Here, I don't feel like we've really done that. I was picturing a world where building a nuclear weapon is as simple as fixing your car. In that scenario, I think humanity would have already wiped itself out. We're really lucky it's so hard to build a nuclear weapon. Most people don't consider that. Now let's work on the missile's nose. Honestly, the welding mechanics in this game are unbearable, like many other mechanics. Still, we've made good progress. Just out of curiosity, shouldn't I put this here? There we go. Next, I need to close up my whole gadget. I'm curious to see what will happen once I've really installed everything. Well, one thing's for sure, I'm going to have to weld all of this. I'm really not looking forward to it at all. Anyway, the Christopher Nolan replica is really well made, huh? There we go. I don't even need to weld. That's incredible. But what is this thing? Like, no, I haven't opened this box yet. Hold on. Ah, no, it was too good to be true. I still have to weld after all. So, I don't know exactly what this thing is, but if I had to guess, I think it's the detonator. Because, look, there's a wire connecting each explosive component. And I think that, well, so this is where we should be able to trigger the explosion that will set off the nuclear blast. So here, we obviously have some wire. And I think this wire needs to be connected. This is going to be such a pain. There. Okay, fortunately, you don't need to be extremely precise when you click. Here, I feel like it's about to detonate. Maybe it's not connected right, but actually, it looks good. Did I miss something? I don't think so. Why are some of the wires white and others black? I don't know. And why do I have a second cord? Did I miss some connections? No, I really don't think I missed any connections. I feel like the last step is simply that I have to take a picture for my slick starter. And in the end, we end up with this masterclass. So, it's surprising that he didn't make me move the thing to put it inside, but I think the thing with all the cables is actually inside this explosive. I think it's this button that triggers the end of the world. We also have some little paint things. So cool. Subscribe. Yes, listen, I'm busted. It's me, Banksy. Is there no other color? No, everything is red. That's a shame. They listened to me. The moment you've all been waiting for. Did we do our job right, or are we going to get a dud? I pressed it. Nothing's happening. They did it on purpose so it wouldn't be the first button. Sorry, Jonathan, you can't take my picture without me knowing now. What is this? Where am I? Wait, there's a garden shed. Honestly, if I fold the paper, France gives up. In a completely unexpected event, France has officially surrendered. Yeah, well, this must be a game made by an American, and Americans like to say that the French spend their time surrendering. Well, in all this bad news, we still learn that rent prices have finally gone down. Of course, you have to be okay with living in a wasteland, but I'll finally be able to rest. Well, listen, this game was still pretty funny. I wish they explained more about how nuclear bombs work and had fewer annoying elements in the game. But we still had a lot of fun. If you want more what the fuck videos like this, you know the drill. Hit the like button, subscribe, the atomic bomb. See you everyone, this was Fuse. Until next time.